annual tradition since 1923. The century-old Brown Hotel welcomes Mark Salmon as their new general manager. With over 30 years in the hospitality business, he brings a wonderful new ideas to the hotel, as well as preserve the iconic history and the vast local love we are all used to. Here to tell us more is the man himself, Mark Salmon. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
So the big announcement came through, I think it was about, I would say like 2 weeks ago or so.
3
and
weeks ago.
I had the biggest smile on my face because you have been at the Brown for quite some time now. So when did your career start at the Brown?
I came to the Brown Hotel in Louisville in the summer of 2002.
Okay.
So I'm about to celebrate my 23rd anniversary here at the Brown Hotel and as a resident of Louisville.
Oh my goodness. So why did you want to, start a career at the Brown?
I love iconic, historic places. Earlier on in my career, I worked for the Walt Disney Company, and it doesn't get any more iconic and historic than that. And in seeing this opportunity and then visiting the building and seeing this incredible place, I knew I had to be a part of it. And it's just been a fabulous experience for myself.
So what did you start working as, when you, like the first job that you got there?
I started as our Human Resources Director, a title that I held for much of the last 23 years. And along the way was the Assistant General Manager, Director of Operations, and the official historian of the Brown Hotel.
So what does it mean, you spent 23 years there, and of course it is so iconic. It's been around for over 100 years now, but what have you kind of seen kind of change, kind of grow, but also keep that history intact too?
Absolutely. As times change, technology changes, there's still this incredible wow factor.
Yeah.
Last night we had a large group checking into the hotel, and getting to see people's faces when they first come up to our second floor lobby and seeing that hand-painted plaster relief ceiling, the marble floors, the chandeliers. There's always, a lot of hotels people just walk right up to the front desk.
Right.
In our place, they get up there and immediately there's this wow factor, and I can immediately say to them, first time here?
Yeah.
And I get to tell them a little bit about our history. This fall we'll be celebrating 102 years. Next year, our world famous Hot Brown turns 100.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, the Hot Brown was invented in 1926, and we're going to have a lot of events circulating around the 100th anniversary of the Hot Brown.
Oh, that is so cool. But what is something that our audience might not know about the Brown Hotel?
Well, it's interesting. I love to tell the story about why the Brown Hotel was built. Our original founder was James Graham Brown, who was a millionaire in the lumber business and owned a lot of real estate here in Louisville. One night he happened to be out with some friends and played a little poker and had a little fun and tried to check into another hotel here in town that's still in business. And the bellman working at the time gave him the bum's rush. They said he looked too scruffy. So Mr. Brown marched himself up the street, took this piece of property that he owned on the corner of 4th and Broadway where a mansion had stood and built the hotel in 10 months at a bricked by hand in 10 months.
Whoa.
At a cost of just under $4 million. The construction crew, for finishing on time, got a big reward. He gave them a trip to Cuba.
Wow.
That's where you sent people in 1923.
Well, geez, just like that poor experience at a previous hotel to spawn a brand new one, and it has really stood the test of time.
We've really stood the test of time. We've been through Prohibition.
Yeah.
We've been through a Great Depression. We've been through a flood where the water was so high that people were rowing their boats in our Broadway entrance and out our 4th Street entrance. And our bell captain caught a fish in the lobby.
Oh my gosh.
We've been through a pandemic.
Yeah.
And we've come out stronger from each one of those.
I think that really, it shows not only, the strength of your crew over there, but really, the architecture of, it's standing in that original location. Not much has really changed in that sense.
A lot of it's original. Our hand-painted plaster relief ceiling, our Botticino marble floors, the brass rails around the front desk, all of that's original. Our chandeliers, so people love to have that charm, but the best compliment we get is on our people. Every morning when I come to work, I read our guest commentary. Everybody writes reviews, right?
Right.
And every morning I get to thank another person by name because a guest thanked them by name. The stability of having this great crew That's what really makes the place work.
Yeah, and you could just tell people really care to be there, and they appreciate that history there. And so June is a busy time for you guys because it is wedding season.
It is wedding season and convention season.
And how fun is that for you to kind of be a part of that a little bit?
It's great to be a part of the most important night of some people's lives, and sometimes people who come back. Not that long ago, a guest called me and said he had a key that his parents, a real key that his parents had took from the Brown Hotel on their wedding night in 1943.
Wow.
And he came in for lunch unexpectedly and he was from San Diego, California, brought his wife, his brother-in-law, and his sister-in-law with him. Well, not only were his parents married at the Brown Hotel, his wife's parents, and therefore the brother-in-laws, were married at the Brown Hotel in 1940, and the brother-in-law and sister-in-law were married at the Brown Hotel in 1996.
Oh my goodness.
So we got to really, they came to the restaurant, they had their hot browns, of course, they got to have their derby pie, and we got to celebrate 3 anniversaries at one table.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And we kept the key.
And he had to keep the key too.
You got to keep the key.
Well, and I think that, and they're not even from Kentucky, and they have such strong memories there, and I think that speaks volumes in and of itself too.
Absolutely, being so iconic, and I had a lady return a teapot to me that her grandmother stole in the early 1940s because her grandmother was too rowdy and got kicked out of a dance, and so out of spite, the gentleman who later became her grandfather stole the teapot, and she wanted to bring it back to its rightful owner.
Oh my God! Do you do people bring back those artifacts? Do you actually get to see them?
And we display them in our lobby.
Do you have do they kind of switch them out? Do they have like a little card with them, a little backstory?
Absolutely. They're all over our lobby and on our first floor in our historic alcove. We have little pieces of our history everywhere, and it's fun when people happen by them. They ask us about all the movies that have been filmed at the hotel. It's a rewarding part of our job. It's
a really magical place for sure, and you are a part of it. So if people are interested in stopping by, making reservations over at your dining rooms, or even just booking a stay at the hotel, how can people get in touch?
Oh, piece of cake. First of all, always get the best rate on our website. We're offering some great summer specials, but people should follow us on Facebook as well, and Instagram. Just this month, there's some nice pictures on Facebook of our signature cocktails.
Ooh. Okay, well, you piqued my interest there. So thank you so much for stopping by. Again, congratulations on your promotion. You're the perfect person for the job, so we're so excited for you.
Thank you so much.